Hello and welcome to the space between ideas. I'm Blank Gates. We got to get started. We got to get moving because the robot is connected. So let's just jump over right away to our Jules, our Julies. Actually, I have a sister named Jules, which I think is kind of funny. Um, this is the first time I've ever used Jules. Um, what do I say? We're just starting it up. Um, First, I gotta say, who's this video for? I got a problem. I see. Okay, there. Everything should be okay. Okay, let's begin. So, I don't know what it's doing. So I don't know anything about Jules. All I know is Jules is working. So I just said, like, how many automated workflows do you recommend after publishing to GitHub and then pushing to pages up at Blaine W. Gates, GitHub IO Qubit Connect. And now I'm wondering if I have to tell you what to do or if you have some options for looking through my code, establishing benchmarks, deciding what automated quality assurance, debugging, and edge case modernization, compliance, etc. tests that you would generally run to get a better understanding of the project. Now, so it's still working. So it went through my automated tests. Fixed tests. I mean, some of these tests are old, so I don't know what it's doing exactly. Or why it's doing it. I don't know. What should we do here? All right, let's begin. So basically, what happened was a long, long time ago, 10 years ago, I started reading this book. I decided that reading it wasn't good enough. I needed to teach it. So I went to Moscow teaching business English to managers so I could get a better understanding of this book. After talking to 500 people and 4,000 hours later, I created this basic course. Now, this isn't exactly how I feed it to people, but it's pretty close. It's not that far off. Anyways, I'm really happy about this. And I even created YouTube videos. Like, I created a whole online course. And then I started putting together Project Arrowhead, which gives you 17 questions to help you make decisions about what you ought to do in your projects at work. And I use these principles all the time. These 5 questions come from one of Tom's direct outcomes checklists. These 5 questions also come from one of Tom's direct outcomes checklists. And this comes from interacting with people. So that's Tom's work. Now, of course, the result is after you have these conversations. So brainstorming module, it helps you talk to your team about like brainstorming ideas, what we should pursue. And then choose module, it helps you guys come to some conclusion about making a decision, making sure everybody's on the same page. And then objectives module, it's about getting those ideas and putting it into a to-do list like this. See, status to-do list in progress, done with dates. So I built this thing. And then I started see the free course. That's the one I was just talking about. So dashboard. I wonder if it's still logged in. Nice. So here you can like add team members and stuff. But unfortunately, I just didn't have the confidence to like tell people like, hey, I used like vibe coding, and now you need to put all of your like personal details, your personal projects into this software. I don't know. I just didn't feel good about it. Also, I needed to really focus on marketing before I could start getting people to buy this software. So I made a pivot and I decided to build a project which I call Qubit Connect. Now, Qubit Connect is actually the other side of that website. So it's actually called Rabbit Race Goal Tracker. This is an older version. What I used to have is like you can move the rabbit across. And eventually people are like, where's the AI? And I was like, AI, huh? So that's why in the current version of the app, I call it Qubit Connect. It does two things. You take a task, any task that you want to get done, you can break it down into steps. You just click, and then like one of the steps, either you can click this task and it'll break it down into steps, or you can click one of the steps and then it'll bring that step into the next row as a task and then break it down into 4 more steps. Now I haven't built this yet. And then once you have all your like what all of the different things you can possibly do are all listed out, then you can dial in the priority, put your top 2 items at the top, and then get going. And the question that I'm always asking myself is like, does this tool actually help me with my endeavors? For example, when we talk about Project Arrowhead, when I need to get something done, do I actually go through these modules in order to create a to-do list? And I would say I often do. And when I talk to students, I'm also talking to them about these things. Like when someone's like this one lady I was talking to last week, she was asking about like social media. What should I do with social media? And I was just like, sandcastles. You need to look at the sandcastles video because, and this is the issue that I have. So let's say that you like a girl. The question isn't, what do I need to do to get girls to like me? I think that's the wrong question. I think the right question is, what kind of guys do girls like? Right? So once you define like what kind of girl you want to be with, whether or not you're correct, whether or not you made a good decision about what kind of girl you want to be with, that's like a whole nother issue. So I don't really care which girl you want to be with. That's not my business. Just like if you build a product or you have a service, I don't care who your customer persona is. Like that's your business. Once you define a customer persona, that's your definition. I don't care. You can sell your product to whoever you want. But you still have to define that because why? Because the question isn't how do you get your customer persona to like you? The question is how do you become something that your customer persona likes? You see the difference? So that goes right into this word called scenarios. If you go into not choose scenarios, it goes into imitate. And this is the question I keep asking people. Let's go to the public site. And the first thing I ask people is like, all right, so the first step to innovation is understanding the landscape. Look what competitors, industry leaders, even successful entities in other fields are doing. Identify current trends and is the key to seeing opportunities. How are others doing it? Have you figured out best practices? Talk to experts, follow the trends so you can keep up with what's going on, provide examples. So if you're with your team, then this is what you have your conversation about. You say, hey guys, check it out. We're going to have a conversation today. Now there's like a whole bunch of other products that I want to build. There's a lot of things that I want to do. And like, I think now that I've kind of had some confidence, like I really got a really big confidence boost because of my experience with anti-gravity. The issue I was facing was like I was using Windsurf and I was using Cursor and I was using Replit. Eventually I stopped using Replit because it's using the internet. Like everything goes through the internet. So it's so slow. They save all of your code on their servers. So everything is just so insane and slow. And then windsurf, cursor. I don't like the word curse you, cursor. I don't know. I don't really like it. And then I saw an interview with the CEO of Cursor, and he's all like, "Well, this tool was specifically building it for like high senior engineers, people who actually know how to code." And I was like, "Okay, I'm out." Windsurf. I don't know. I just heard some rumors that like ChatGPT, OpenAI, was going to buy it, or they had some relationship with it, or something. I don't know. Something about Devin. Windsurf. I just like the vibe, so I was using Windsurf a lot. Then suddenly, I'm already paying for Google Gemini. Now anti-gravity is basically free. So, and it's not like windsurf, because windsurf there was like some limits. Like you can only have like 500. You're always changing models. You're always kind of like which one is the best. And then eventually, I was using Gemini 3 inside of windsurf. And then I was using ChatGPT 5.1, 5.0, 5. I don't know which one I was using. And I don't know. It just got to the point where basically we reached that level where it could kind of do the things that you wanted to do. And I was satisfied enough with Gemini that I just, why am I paying an extra $15 on windsurf when I got Gemini for free? So, I mean, I got anti-gravity for free since I'm paying for Gemini. But I wasn't really happy with the experience at the beginning. It was okay. I was testing it. In fact, what happens was I ran a test, and I was trying to build the same app on 2 different platforms at the same time. And basically, they both built it to the same level in the same amount of prompts, even. So what I did was like, I had 2 different Gemini agents. They were talking back and forth, designing like the specs for this project. And then I kept asking, like, what's missing? Okay, what else is missing? Okay, what else is missing? What else is missing? Name 10 things that are missing. Name 10 more things that might break. Name 10 things that might turn out to become a bug. Name what else is missing. And you just keep asking what else is missing back and forth. You do that like 50 times. And it's like, how close are we there? They're like, oh, we're 70% there. It's like, what? I've been doing this for an hour, and now you're saying I'm only 70% there. And then what's missing? What else is missing? Name 5 more things. Okay, out of these things that you think that you said are missing, like how many of these are like that we have to absolutely solve right now, and how many we don't need to really worry about right now? Back and forth until I had like what's called a product requirements document. Then I put that product requirement document into windsurf and into anti-gravity, and then build, and then like they basically did the exact same thing. They finished the project in the exact same amount of time, and they both worked. So I was like, well, why am I paying for windsurf when Google Gemini is doing the same thing? And I guarantee you that over time, Google is going to win. So what's the point? So I canceled my windsurf account, and I was like worried about it for the last month or 2. Anyways, so I've just been working on this Qubit Connect, and just now I launched it. So you can actually check it out. It's on. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see my everything. Okay, so you can see that. It's in my GitHub IO Qubit Connect, and this is what it is. So doom scrolling into micro learning. So what am I talking about here? I did a little challenge last week with some of my students, and some of them speak English as a second language. So I told them, like, hey, like you kind of have to read every day. Like they realize they have to read every day. And since I'm studying French, I found some websites where it's called News in Levels, and then they have the same. So it's for people studying English, but they also have the same website in English and in Chinese. So, or is it in Chinese? Chinese in Levels. Oh, they have it in Chinese also. That's perfect. Yeah, okay. So for example, this was the article that everybody was reading yesterday. And then this website, it's also in, so this is level 1. 美国 CEO. What is this? I don't know how to say this guy's name. What is his name? Elon? Elon Musk. 普通员工的收入差距. Okay, this is a new word. So, anyways, we're not talking about Chinese today. Anyways, I should be reading this. Now, the challenge that everybody's supposed to do is you're supposed to write 5. Well, actually, the challenge was 3 words. So, if this article has between 3 and 5 new words, then it's at the right level. And then if you have less than 5, if you have less than 3 new words, then you need to go to level 2. If you have less than 3 new words on the next level, then you go to level 3. And then so some of the guys that I talked to, they're like, I know all this stuff. Like, I don't need English lessons. So then I put it into Google Gemini and I said, okay. So I fed it like level 1 and level 2 and level 3. And I said, can you also give me level 4 and level 5? So I started sending them level 4 and level 5. And then I would read it in French. And then by hand, I would write out the words in French. And by hand, I would write out the words in Chinese. Actually, that's what I'm going to start doing. And then I also had a Russian lesson today. It was actually really good. I just told her, like, I just want grammar exercises. Just give me hard grammar exercises. What's the point? The point is, I put a lot of effort into thinking about this project, and it was taking a huge amount of my energy because I was trying to solve a big problem. Let's take a look on Jules, see how Jules is doing. Still working. No idea what the heck it's doing or why it's doing it. I don't know what it's going to do. I have no idea if it's going to break it. Anyways, it's connected to my GitHub repository, so I still have all of the files on my personal computer, which is completely separate. Anti-gravity, I turn it off. It's not even on right now. So there's no way that whatever Jules is going to do to my GitHub repository, it's not going to affect my anti-gravity. I just had so much energy expended on this project. I'm thinking about it, I'm worrying about it, never knowing if it was actually going to work. Because, in fact, at the very end of this project, I had to shut down my Google Gemini agents because they started to lose some of the context, and then they started to hallucinate, and then they couldn't like keep track of things. And this is where I was worried. This is where all the projects end up. It's like you vibe code for long enough, then you start finding out like eventually the chat is too long, and then anti-gravity or windsurf or whatever, they can't remember what we talked about before, or it starts making stuff up, or it doesn't actually do the work it says it's going to do. I don't know. It just suddenly get all these issues. And then you're like, I'm copying it from one and pasting it into my Google Gemini, and then I'm asking Google Gemini what happened, and like, oh, they didn't really do the change. It's hallucinating. And it's like, who's hallucinating? Which one of you guys is hallucinating? So you get to this point in a project when you're vibe coding, and it gets like really stressful because it's like, I don't know if what I'm doing is correct. I can't read code. I don't know what's happening, and I don't know if I break something, is it going to be broken forever, or is it like? So I was just trying to get anti-gravity to get to the point where it just said basically like you don't have any bugs, there's no edge cases, there's no issues, there's no nothing, like you're perfect. Everything in your code's awesome. And it was really hard to get there. But when I got to the very last 3%, 5% of the application, I actually stopped using my Gemini agents, who were trained specifically to help me to work with anti-gravity, to write the code, to create the code, to do everything. because they were all going crazy. And I just didn't know what to do at that point. So I disconnected with them. I just spoke directly to Antigravity. In fact, inside of Antigravity, I wanted it to train up a new Google Gemini instance. So we could train it up and then we could use it to check the work of Antigravity as Antigravity is working. So I told it, I said, hey, we want to train up an Antigravity agent. So can you like make some decisions, help me to do this? I'm going to open up a new instance. We're going to train it. It was so crazy. So it actually, instead of doing that, it decided to create like a conversation with itself. So, and it even printed out this whole conversation. I think you could probably find it in the code base. I wonder if it's in here somewhere. Oh, well, I wouldn't know how to find it. I don't know. Anyways, all the plan. What does it say? All plan steps completed. All plan steps completed. Ready for submission. Okay, so I have established a robust automated workflow foundation for the project. Changes. I have no idea. Did it already do it? Why did it say it deleted? What's the heck's going on? What's it doing? Just automatically did it. I don't even know what to do now. I don't know what happened. Apparently, it added automatic workflows. There's a pull request. It's running right now. So I don't what just happened. I have no idea what just happened. So tell me about my talk to Jules. Tell me about my code base. Does it have bugs? Does it work? Is there some recommendations? I don't even know what's going on. Well, we got a yellow light. This is running. What was I talking about? Yeah, so this is it. So, I mean, in general, I would say, look, I mean, the app's working and it's published. So now, of course, like The issue is what? The issue is like, well, I don't really know much about coding. You have two issues. One is like the code, like three. Okay, number one is design. So you see this and you're like, whoa, okay. So, because you know those Y Combinator, okay, we got an issue here. They're always like doing some like thing where they're going to look at your code base. They're going to look at your design. They're going to say, hey, look, your design is crap. So, I mean, of course, there's the design issue. Like, why did you design it like this? Recipes for life. Okay, what do you mean recipes? Okay, I know recipes. I know life. Okay, it's kind of abstract. So obviously, you're trying to tell me what to do. Turn doom scrolling into micro learning. Okay, I've heard of that. I mean, that's why I chose this, right? Because it's from a real situation. Everybody knows what doom scrolling is. Everybody knows what micro learning is. But what do you mean? Okay, so what's the topic? Sometimes it's math. Sometimes it's history. Now this is scrolling, right? It's like doom scrolling, scrolling. So this forces you to push pause. That's the whole reason. Is like the reason it's going so fast. You might be like, why is it going so fast? Can you stop it, please? It's like, yeah, obviously that's the whole point, because I want people to have to push pause. Now, I think I'm going to change something in here, because internal search triggers, nobody knows what that means. Retrain your algorithm to serve skills, not distractions. You control your feed. Your feed doesn't control you. It doesn't make no sense. What is that even saying? High signal filter isolates one post that teaches versus 10 that entertain. Build a library of knowledge, not a graveyard of likes. That's like still pretty abstract. AI extraction engine fills the instructional gap with influencers to leave out. Unlock the full paid course. Yeah, but I don't know what the context is. Output authority. Turn passive consumption into active contribution. Stop being the audience. Start being the expert. Okay. I mean, I would say fine. Like, I didn't really understand any of that. I'm the one who wrote this stuff. I still don't understand what it says. Okay, step one, help me search for Instagram topic and post. Okay, that's easy. Step two, use the post to create recipes. What? Recipes. Step three, use your recipe to interact with others. Okay, create an original post with your improvements. Use social media to learn and add value to social media social media space. Okay. So why do you have all this garbage up here if it's that simple? Good question. So now we're on to the first major hurdle. Tell me about my code base. It was actually able to find out. It was able to see that it failed. Nice. Okay, so it's going to do that in the background. Let's go back to pull requests. So we're going to put in another pull request, obviously. Okay. So I think it's like probably pause this request. And it's going to try to fix this other thing. Mock. Okay, what were we talking about? All right. So the first major problem is getting people to use that API key. A lot of people are afraid because they click the API key. And then what? Because everyone's been told that you can't share your API keys with other people. But this is for the free tier, so it doesn't matter if somebody steals it. It's not going to charge your credit card. It's on the free tier. And then we start. Vroom, vroom. Check this out. So we got dark mode. Everyone close your eyes. We got light mode. Nice. You see that? So I'm happy because, for the most part, we got it right, So, okay, nothing happens when you click this. It's kind of a letdown. I wish this was a button that refreshed the screen. We got Scout, we got API key. So check out this. So what happens sometimes? All right, you can disconnect. and it will send you back to the main page. Now, sometimes what happens if you reach because I think you can only make 10 or 20 requests per day. So then this thing will pop up and it'll say, not this one, but it's one that's kind of like this one. And it'll say, hey, you need to switch out your API keys. You need to pop in a new one. Okay, nice. PDF, boom, hold on. Start by uploading a video, transcript, pasting text, something that you want to learn. Markdown. Hold on. Start up by uploading video, transcript, or pasting some text of something you want to learn. All right. All right. Export. Same thing. Okay. In fact, this is like, you're supposed to, when it clicks that, it's supposed to scroll down to like this. But it's fine. So we got structure or scout. If you're going to scout, okay, so learn, create, engage. You can copy, post, expand them step-by-step plans, use your recipes to engage with others, make them your own posts. Scout, find high signal topics, break complexity into steps, PDF, markdown ready. Yeah, everything's good. So, I mean, Scout. Okay, so we got one Scout button here. It takes us into the Scout. We got a second Scout button here. It puts us into the Scout. Or even here. Oh, I can't see it. Need inspiration? Scout for topics. Click that. Also brings so all of it brings you into the Scout. All right, what's a Scout? Find high signal source material. This brings us back to this little thing where, so what I'm trying to do here is, so last week we did 1 day of AI videos. The closest thing to what I'm trying to do, like the way I'm trying to explain, like what am I actually going to do, is my YouTube channel is going to basically be like a radio show. 3 times a week, I broadcast the radio show. So 1 day of the radio show, we're doing AI video. Next day, we're doing business topics. And then 1 day, we're doing vibe coding. Why? Because thing is, like, I want to learn vibe coding better than I learned it so far. Why? Because now I have to build like a more complicated application. And the reason why I built Qubit Connect is actually, one reason is because it's hard to get somebody to onboard with such a complex workflow. So I want to teach them by piece, which means I'm going to start with the Rabbit Race Goal Tracker, and then I made some changes to the Rabbit Race Goal Tracker. I turned it into Qubit Connect. But then Qubit Connect, like maybe not everybody's interested in a productivity app right away. So I decided to take the concept and then turn it into something more specific, something that everybody, well, it's more like I decided to pick my specific, how do you say that? My persona, my specific customer. So instead of saying, anyone can use it. Anybody who has a task list can use it. No, it's too broad. Okay, so can you use the methodology, the concept behind what you've built, and then turn it into an actual, like into a tool that's like more specific for people to use? That was the challenge. All right, who knows what it's trying to do? Didn't build new. Okay. Right. So we got the Scout feature, and Scout feature is like supposed to help you to find topics. Now today, when I was walking around, I had this idea. I was like, okay, so like maybe I need to add like a column or something, and then I can just I can just put in all the different topics that I'm interested in, and then keep track of the topics. The issue right now is that sometimes you put in a search term and nothing comes back. All right. So today's business topic. What is the niche concept? How to pick a niche for content creation. What is the niche concept? I have no idea what the niche concept is. Now, the issue that I have right now All right, so we click search. All right, so we got niche ideas, niche content niche, niche selection, finding your niche hook, niche viral, content niche strategy, niche audience. See, the Scout isn't always the best tool for the search. And that's the issue is, but the thing is, I'm not trying to like compete with Google. So we're going to click short videos because that's basically what we see. Look, we got TikTok, Instagram. I'm surprised that YouTube doesn't. Yeah, here. YouTube, Instagram. I mean, I don't know. What is this niche? I don't even know what a niche concept is. What do you mean a niche concept? Like, is an actual business methodology, or is it just an idea to discuss? I like when people say niche. It's a niche concept. Niche. Are you aware that, like, for the last 50 years, everybody's been saying niche? Given your skepticism and background, given your skepticism, yeah, this is because of something I loaded into my. You can think of it this way: the guru version you see on YouTube is often a simplified pop psychology remix of Michael Porter's generic strategy. Pop culture niche. Building an audience by. All right, so this is the issue. Like, I don't really. It's basically, it's just saying. It's self-help. Porter's generic strategies. Self-help, creator economy. Talk about what you know. Or I'm running out of ideas. Actual methodology behind it. Porter's focused long tail theory. Blue ocean strategy. I don't even know what the heck it's talking about. It doesn't seem me. Okay. If you're looking for it doesn't exist. Principles legally and economically sound. Target marketing applied to a micro scale or individual creator. Since you're building a Cubic Connect, it's totally focusing on my own project. Huh. Okay. So in this case, I would say that the Scout failed me. Mainly because, well, for two reasons. One reason is, like, why would I search using the Scout when I can search using Google short videos? This will definitely be a better idea. Unless, all right, what happens if I click this button? Where's my audio? It didn't work. Well, how am I going to share the video? Let me try sharing it again. All right, let's check it out. No, it doesn't work. All right, I'm just going to share a single tab and see what happens. Sorry, give us another second.
Best with that. But if nobody's interested, it's not going to do very well. And then on the flip side, you could do something like create a Sabrina Carpenter fan account, right? She's super popular. That would do really well if you have good content. But if you're not a fan, if you have never listened to her music, that's not going to do very well either. Your niche
Okay,
needs to
good.
meet all of those things: curiosity, skill, and
Curiosity, skill, and demand. I like that. Curiosity, skill, and demand. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, in general, so what's the purpose of the Qubit Connect Scout? I would say it's not that useful because I can just go directly to Google and then I can just put like a search concept, click short video, and it's going to give me like the best videos in all the major video platforms. So why am I doing the search on my own thing when this is a better search engine? It's also a better it's displaying the information in a better way. So I would say that when I make videos in the future, I need to have the video already selected before. So I'm going to do the video search beforehand. Now, does that mean that my scout, should I remove the scout? I'll leave it in there. I don't know, like, what niche selection? Finding your niche. What if I click this? What happens? Oh yeah, you have to pick one first. For example, maybe we'll get the same. Maybe we'll get the same video. So this is the same thing, except it's the same video. We got this exact same video. It's wild. That was nice. I was actually pretty. So the thing is, so the benefit of using the app, using the. So okay, so then I come back to my channel, and then it's like, let me try something else. Let's try Instagram. Thing with Instagram, you get videos as the first result of the search. I don't know why. So that's where, in fact, here it's better because look, then I can just click this dude, do 67, choosing your niche. Boom, I'm into Instagram and it's into his video. So yeah, so it's still. Yeah. So now this is the thing, is that the younger generation, they're learning everything through a filter. So what happened was my generation, we've been working overtime. Like, hold on a second. I just want to show you back into Jules rather than this talk. My generation, we've been working overtime. First of all, we built. I mean, the internet that came a little bit before us, but like we built everything on the internet. All the social media, we built all the everything. We literally built everything, and then now the younger generation's coming up, and they don't have to do the same kind of like. They're not discovering the world. Like if you look at Christopher Columbus, he goes over and he gets like, he gets into war. He's got to kill people. He's got to get his hands dirty. And like then he's got to like come up with a strategy for how to massacre the indigenous people and colonize America. So it's a lot of dirty work. And then like me, I grew up, I delivered newspapers, running around in rollerblades, playing golf in the park. Like everybody already had like a million different business models. And all right, so what's happening here? Complete pre-commit steps. I don't even know what's doing now. All right, so the point is that like, and nobody's going to care about. I mean, this feature isn't the main feature for the app. So it means that before I do my radio show, I need to have the videos ready. Now, there's another reason why I have to have the videos ready, and it's about the core function of the application. So the purpose of the app, so I have the video just on the side of the screen. So I'm just going to click and drag it into here. And then the thing that maybe it sounds difficult is you also have to have the transcript. So I drag the transcript into here, click start analysis, beep, bop, boop. There you go. See that? Boom. So this processes it. I don't need all that information. So what happens is there was a video I liked, and then I uploaded the transcript, and it says, listen, okay, so the video, I'm going to break it down into steps. This is what Qubit Connect is about. We need to break it down into tasks, main tasks. You see task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4. So task 1 is identify the target customer. Find people and companies that really need your product. This helps you focus on your efforts. Identify target. What do you mean? How do I identify target customers? So I click Qubit, and then it generates these 4 steps. Okay, so according to the video, it says to use XAAI to prompt a scrape for key decision makers in your target industry. In the XAAI, also prompt a scrape for companies within your target industry that you want to sell to. Then use Apollo to enrich the leads identified in the previous steps. Identify decision makers and companies that genuinely need your product on the enriched data. So then the question is, do you know how to do this? How do I use XAAI to prompt a scrape for decision? I don't know how to do that. So I'm going to click deep dive. All right, so you open up the XAAI, and I navigate to the scraping tool, input a prompt to identify key decision makers within your target B2B industry. It doesn't exactly tell me how to identify target customers. Because it means you already have to have your idea about like who is it. So you have to decide who you're going to target before you use this tool. Anyways, you get the point. So, and then what happens is, as you can see, it takes a screenshot from the video, how to get tracking for your startup, traction for your startup. So identify target customers. So sometimes the video is not that great. Oh, here it is. Okay, find the full list. I suppose this is XAAI software. Sometimes the video is like doesn't exactly line up, or the thing in the video, it doesn't quite match up with what's here. But anyways, this is just to kind of keep you like focused on. It triggers the memory, so you know which video you were watching. Anyway, so here's like, I mean, if you print this, then you can actually use this tool. You can actually check these boxes. I don't know why it does this. It added this. I don't even remember when it added it or why. If you cross it out, can you still do a deep dive? Yeah. And if you cross it out, it doesn't actually cross it out in here. All right, so then you can click PDF and then it'll print out the PDF. I'm just looking at the screen right now to make sure that it's doing it. Yeah, it looks fine. Has the date, Cubic Connect, everything's fine. Everything. There's a little bit of bleeding on the page. So the page isn't perfect. We got a bug to fix. Now, the other thing you can do is you can use text mode. So in this case, in fact, I'll just use the same transcript. Why is it opening Windsurf? The VVT file, it thinks it's Windsurf. Let's open it with, I'm going to close Windsurf. Well, I just need to copy and paste it. So if it opens the file, I'll just, yeah, okay. So it opened the file, it's fine. All right, so as you can see, if I use the text mode, I can still paste in the content. Start analysis. And it's just basically the exact same thing. You see, scrape for decision makers, engage unscalable actions. It's exactly the same, except in this case, it just doesn't have the image because we didn't upload the video. So what's the big issue that I wish I could solve? The problem I wish I could solve is I wish I could just put in a link, like directly put in a YouTube link, a TikTok link, an Instagram link, any link I want, and then it would automatically get the video and the transcript. That would be awesome. We're not quite there yet. Anyways, I'm gonna take the markdown. So another thing you could do is you could take the markdown file. So after you're done, you could get the markdown file. You could put it back in here. You could paste it back in here. And you could do the analysis again with the markdown file. Right? So for example, let's say I do this. I do the thinking, and then I expand this, expand this, expand this, expand this, expand this, expand this. Oh, by the way, you can add your text in here as well. All of these lines are editable. They're all editable. All right, so I completely expanded everything. Now, if I get the next markdown file, and I paste it, now you can see that, look, I have all of that expanded stuff. No, it didn't. What did it expand? Huh, interesting. It didn't actually copy any of that. If I click markdown, it's still copying the first markdown file. Okay. Got lots of issues. Jules is working. I don't even know what Jules is doing. I got bugs in the code. So what was I talking about learning French and Chinese? It's because like the purpose of the application, the purpose of the website is that I think that people should be using social media to learn. Like I was saying, the hard work has already been done. So now that the hard work is already done, then now we can go into social media. We can get up like a really good amount of good information. I think social media is now populated with lots of good information. There's a lot of different systems that are constantly refilling the engine with the most up-to-date information. And then sometimes there's either like a few steps missing, or maybe the information needs to be updated a little bit. So my tool, it just basically, it updates that information with, once I fix it, some little fixes here and there. And then you can copy the markdown file. You're going to get it to give you 10 Reddit pages where you're going to contribute on Reddit. You're going to copy and paste the questions that they're asking on Reddit. Then you're going to be pasting the information, your recipe. You're going to use the most interesting questions from those Reddit feeds in order to create a LinkedIn post. Then you're going to restructure the post a little bit for your Facebook group. And then the reason why I'm studying AI video creation is because once you have all of that data, you can go back to your AI editing tool, and then you can create a social media post. So that's really where I'm at right now. Because you've seen that I made lots and lots of live YouTube videos. And then if you go into my, where is it? If you go into my Instagram, you can see that I posted a whole bunch of posts a long time ago. And I was using, but this is still just YouTube. I found an AI tool that takes my YouTube video and then cuts it up into shorts. That's all I did. So this isn't exactly that, it's not that great. So this is a year ago. This is strategy from a year ago. And we need a new strategy. So that's what I'm doing right now is I got this tool to help me to focus on educational posts and then to really understand the steps for improving my knowledge and skills in some very specific areas. And then this tool, now it's going to help me to get more involved with community, for example, Reddit and LinkedIn and Facebook. And then as I start to get more engaged in those communities, and as I continue to learn, then I'm going to up my game in my ability to make AI videos. And yeah, so that's the thing. It's you have to, for me, I'm building a digital product. So I have to be able to use all these different social media platforms to drive traffic to my landing page. This is my landing page. It's a tool. So the next thing I have to add to this is to say, hey, everyone, this is actually a wait list. From probably going to add it around here somewhere. Or maybe I'll put a line up here that says Cubic Connect. Cubic Connect is a tool to help you to focus on learning and focus on making posts for social media. So if you're trying to market something, then it'll help you to stay focused on the skills that you need to build when you're using social media to learn new skills. Then at the same time, it's a reminder to help you focus your attention on posting all those different platforms. Now, if you like the process of getting step-by-step tasks and breaking them down into smaller and smaller pieces, you're going to love my next application, which is called Cubic Connect. So, and then that's also why I'm studying AI app development, because I want to make sure that I can build another app that's doing exactly what I want it to do. And then once that's built, I'm already going to have hopefully I'll have a lot of followers, people who are following my work, people who like my social media posts. And then I'll be able to release this. And then once that's released, then I got another wait list, because guess what? This app is just it's a part of Jeez, where am I? It's a part of my, it's this page. It's like the last page of my project app. So let's leave the to-do list app just focusing on getting things done. Let's look at the whole project workflow. So that's the next app. That's a lot of apps. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing these days. No, I have no idea what this is going on. Did it actually do something in my GitHub? So it did not do anything in my GitHub. Okay, so we got yeah, we did this already. Now it's back to thinking. All right, so I don't even know what the heck this is supposed to be about. Anyway, it's just a recap. So basically what happened was I said, how many automated workflows do you recommend after publishing to GitHub and then publishing to Pages? Like, what do you do? I was just like trying to ask, like, what is it that you do? And it says, well, I fix tests and I add accessibility tests and I create CI workflows and I do pre-commits and I submit changes. And what else do you do? So, and then what? And then I tried to add this, but it didn't really like it. Huh. This is the one that failed. I don't know. So Jules is just not, it's not really working. It didn't, like, what are we supposed to do here? Yeah, nothing's working now. I can't click enter. So it means I have to refresh the page. Well, I guess that's the end of the video. So basically, I feel like we need to make goals based on output, because the current way that I'm doing these goals, things are not happening. Like I did my French goal I did a 10-day challenge. It was very specific. You have to write out at least 3 new words 5 times. All right. And then I got to have a Russian goal, which is like do these exercises. Do an exercise every day. Now my Chinese is going to be the same as my French, which is going to be, it just died. Okay, look, there's something moving over here. Session is in progress. So this is about language. I have 3 language goals. And I know basically how to do it. Then I have a reading goal. A bunch of books I'm reading. That's going to be like a time. Basically, you have to read a certain amount of time. And then there's my Cuba Connect goal as far as like posting on social media, which means I have to pick a topic and then I need to find the videos. Once I found the videos, I can pop it into my tool. Then, all right, so is that 3 already? Language, reading books, using my tool to post on social media. Then there's going to be like improving the code for this version. Then the question is like, well, am I going to start making my new app? No, see, I can't make the new app until I've done a little more, until I have a little more experience with my social media, talking to Jules, who is apparently supposed to be working. Yeah. So we got read books, we got open textbook, write vocab, cut paper. Okay, so this is going to change. This changes to languages. French reading. French in levels. Chinese in levels. Russian exercises. Reading books. Create questions. Read messages. Reading books. Reading books is just going to be how many cycles with the audio function of Google Docs. You see I have this here, PDF to Word. You see this one is called tools.pdf24.org. Any PDF you can turn into a Word document. And once you got that Word document, then you can click the button. They don't have it instead of this one. They have it only in Word, where it's going to do the reading for you. Larger application is on hold. Waitlist page, design page, email capture. Integrate mini app. All right, I'm going to take the integrate mini app. I'm going to put it on the first one because I integrated the mini app. Embed Reddit. So I can't embed Reddit. It has to go through Google. History. A post helps. Yeah. These are things I've thought about many times, but I think we're just going to delete them. Set up feedback. What's set up feedback? All right, so we did the we're integrating the mini app. We're going to fix the bugs. Then we're going to do the email capture. And we need to post 10 times on social. And we have to learn AI video for Reels. For Reels. Mini app. Test tool, find video, process through tool, create recipe, find. Yeah, that's the whole work process. 19 page. That's a good point. Okay, so the larger app is on hold. All right, so sometimes I go on LinkedIn and I'm just like, hey, everyone, this is what's up. Now, space between ideas, that's going to be the radio show. Posted, engage with it. Okay. Which means use it's called Qubit Connect. Use Qubit Connect. Post on all socials. Learn. Radio show is actually the learning. Learn skills. Well, then I don't really learn skills. That's the whole point. So the radio show is about learning the skills. Yeah, so the radio shows I'm learning skills, meaning I'm going to use the Qubit Connect. I'm going to post on all socials. Continue until you have good AI Reels skills. It's my alarm. All right, so then the waitlist page is not really called a waitlist page anymore. It's called Qubit Connect. All right, what's going on with Qubit Connect? I integrated the mini app. So now we're fixing the bugs. We need to add the email capture. We're going to post 10 times. Learn AI video skills for Reels. That's going to set up. Once this is done, then start building Qubit Connect to-do list. Yeah. Reading books, languages. Yeah, so this is the larger app. So that's going to go in here. All right, so that's my life right there. Jules, you got anything else you want to say? Still working. All right, well, let's let Jules stay there. As I've been telling you, basically my YouTube, my live is going to turn into this radio show. And the main issue now is just like making sure I'm prepared for the show, which means before I come to class, before I turn on the live video, I need to do my Google search before I enter, and then I got to download the video. I got to do the transcript. So that has to be done before the show starts, because then we're going to be using the Qubit Connect in order to break it down into steps. then once we break it down into steps, once we're satisfied with the steps, like we have a basic recipe for getting the job done, then we're going to go onto Reddit together. We're going to start reading some other people's comments to see, what kind of conversation is going around this topic. Then we're going to design the LinkedIn post. Then we're going to change it to the Facebook post. And then it's going to take a while for me to develop these AI video reel skills. So I don't have that. I still can't make the Instagram and the TikTok reels. Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube reels. For reels. There you go. But anyways, I just want to make one more. Let's leave it there. It's fine. Yeah, I don't know. All right, let's let Jules do her thing. I don't know what else to say, so I'll catch up with you. Bye-bye.